Today tori wey no get filter.
Politics matter.
Sport.
Ya lo hace. Pierna derecha, directo al arco. ¡Golazo! ¡Golazo!
Culture. Naija and Obodo Oyibo music. Advertisement wey go reach your customer home and abroad.
This is incredible.
Na on top Radio Afiju you go hear am.
You can't be serious.
Na so. Radio Afiju be baba for all radio stations wey dey Osogbo, Osun State. Radio Afiju na better level for broadcasting.
Alrighty then.
First, a look at the highlights. CUPP reacts to alleged move to arrest Senator Natasha. Rwanda and Belgium expel each other's diplomats over Congo conflict. Trump to attend Kennedy Center for board meeting as its new chair. Good evening and welcome to the World News on Radio Afinju. My name is Pearl Durotoye. The news in detail. The Coalition of United Political Parties, CUPP, has raised its voice against the purported move to arrest Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. There were revelations recently made by the suspended lawmaker, among which was an alarm claiming that there are plans on the way to arrest her. CUPP said that this assertion, if true, casts a dark shadow over Nigeria's democratic landscape, raising serious questions about the state of freedom of expression and movement in the country. Senator Natasha's fears stem from what she alleged as a targeted effort to silence her voice. She warned that any attempt to arrest her would serve as undeniable evidence that Nigeria's democratic ideals are under severe threat. In the meantime, the political crisis in Rivers took another dimension after lawmakers accused Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Odu of gross misconduct. 26 members of the Rivers Assembly raised the allegations in 2 letters sent to the Speaker, Martin Amewule, and thereafter transmitted to Fubara and his deputy. They said the action was in compliance with Section 188 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, and other extant laws which mandates that such allegations be signed by at least 1/3 of the House members and specify the particulars of the misconduct. The letters signed by the 26 lawmakers were presented during today's plenary session. The Speaker is required to ensure that the notices are served on the office holders and all members of the House within 7 days of receipt. The Muslim rights concern Murik has alleged that Yoruba Muslims have been deliberately sidelined in political appointments under the administration of President Bola Tinubu. The group claims that a powerful caucus is preventing true and practicing Yoruba Muslims from securing key government positions. In a statement by its founder and executive director, Ishaq Akintola, Murik accused unnamed forces of manipulating the system to exclude Yoruba Muslims from leadership roles. The organization also claimed that some Yoruba Christians have been fraudulently taking up political slots meant for Muslims by retaining Muslim names on official documents. The former governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos State, Abdulaziz Adediran, popularly known as Jandor, has joined the All Progressives Congress. He made this announcement at a press conference at his office in Ikeja, Lagos, weeks after resigning from the PDP. Jandor maintained that internal crisis and lack of party discipline within the party were the main reasons for his defection. Jandor affirmed that he had met with political associates, supporters and leaders across various parties, including the Social Democratic Party, African Democratic Congress and Young Progressive Party, before deciding to return to the APC. He acknowledged the efforts of President Bola Tinubu's Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, and Tinubu's son, Seyi Tinubu, in persuading him to rejoin the APC. Students of Akwa Ibom State Polytechnic, Ikot Osurua, earlier today took to the streets of the campus over alleged insecurity, extortion and police brutality. The students who gathered in front of the school gate were seen displaying different placards with inscriptions before they were dispersed with tear gas. The SUG president, Geoffrey George, who led the protest, said students have suffered in the hands of police and hoodlums within the community. He said just last week a threatening video on social media was seen where a student of the institution was beaten and dragged, rolling on the ground by policemen. Reacting, the police public relations officer for Akwa Ibom, Timfon John, said that the State Commissioner of Police, Baba Azare, has invited the students for a meeting to resolve all issues affecting them. Away from Nigeria, Belgium and Rwanda have announced the expulsion of each other's diplomats as relations deteriorated over allegations about their respective roles in the conflict in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Kigali said it was severing diplomatic relations and giving Belgian diplomats 48 hours to leave the East African country, accusing Brussels of using lies and manipulation to secure an unjustified hostile opinion of Rwanda. Belgium's Foreign Affairs Minister, Maxime Prevot, said the move was disproportionate, adding that Brussels will reciprocate by declaring Rwandan diplomats persona non grata. African leaders have been trying to establish a lasting ceasefire in Congo, where the Rwandan government is accused of supporting an offensive by M23 rebels in eastern Congo. In Asia, dozens of foreign CEOs will visit Beijing this month for a flagship development conference where some are expected to meet President Xi Jinping. Two sources told reporters the annual China Development Forum will take place on March 23rd to 24th at Beijing's Durotoye State Guest House. Xi is likely to meet a select group of foreign chief executives days after the summit, which could include European and British CEOs, since one source, adding that the timing and the list of attendees could still change. Beijing is desperate to attract foreign investment at a time of heightened geopolitical tensions as policymakers try to boost domestic consumption to offset fresh U.S. tariff pressure. A South Korean military drone collided with a stationary helicopter at an airfield today, causing a fire that was extinguished in about 20 minutes without any casualties. South Korea's defense ministry said the drone was an Israeli-made Heron, a large reconnaissance unmanned aerial vehicle. Reports gathered that in November last year, the same type of unmanned aerial vehicle crashed around the same area. In Europe, Russian forces are advancing in southern Ukraine and had pierced part of the Ukrainian lines less than 31 miles southeast of the city of Zaporizhia. Russia's defense ministry said in a statement that its forces had taken the village of Stepov in the Zaporizhia region, pushing through Ukrainian lines. Yuri Podolyaka, one of the most influential pro-Russian military bloggers, said Russian forces had also smashed their way into the nearby village of Mali Shebaki. Russia had recently tried to drive the last Ukrainian soldiers from western Russia after a 7-month incursion by Ukraine that aimed to distract Moscow's forces, gain a bargaining chip, and rile President Vladimir Putin. A judge looking into the murder of newborn babies by British nurse Lucy Letby said she would hear arguments why the inquiry should be paused after request from hospital managers and a politician campaigning to overturn Letby's conviction. Letby, 35 years old, was found guilty in 2023 of murdering 7 children and attempting to murder 7 more between June 2015 and June 2016 while working in the neonatal unit of the Counties of Chester Hospital in Chester, Northern England, making her Britain's most prolific serial child killer of modern times. Since then, she has been found guilty of an 8th count of attempted murder and was denied permission to appeal. The shocking case prompted the government to order an inquiry which started last September to examine how the killings went undetected and review the hospital's response to concerns raised about Letby before her arrest. It was learnt a group of politicians and medical experts have since publicly challenged their convictions, with the specialists saying they had conducted a review that cast doubt on evidence the babies had been murdered. In the Americas, U.S. President Donald Trump spoke to the press on board Air Force One, offering insights into the administration's views on various current issues. The event took place during a critical time as Trump addressed matters related to foreign policy, domestic concerns, and the key legal decisions impacting his presidency.
April 2nd is a liberating day for our country. We're going to be getting back some of the wealth that very, very foolish presidents gave away because they had no clue what they were doing. And April 2nd, I would have made it April 1st, but you know what April 1st is? April Fool's Day. I figured, I don't like doing it, but I made it April 2nd. But it's a liberation day for our country because we're going to be getting back a lot of the wealth that we so foolishly gave up to other countries, including friend and foe. You know, we've taken in already billions of dollars, and we haven't even really started the program other than certain areas, certain pinpointed areas, as you know. Many billions of dollars have already come into our country. But the big money is coming in on April 2nd, from April 2nd.
U.S. President Donald Trump will visit the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts after ousting its leadership, taking over as chair, and seeking to put a stamp on the renowned arts institution. Still in the Americas, the White House has denied an accusation from rights groups that it flouted due process by defying a judge's order while carrying out deportations at the weekend. A group of 238 alleged Venezuelan gang members plus 23 alleged members of the international MS-13 gang were sent from the United States to a prison in El Salvador, while some were removed from the country under a law not used since World War II. The move came despite a temporary block issued by a judge. The White House said the judge's order itself was not lawful and was issued after the group was deported. Neither the United States government nor El Salvador has identified the detainees or provided details of their alleged criminality or gang membership. In the Middle East, an Israeli airstrike has killed 3 Palestinian men in the Gaza Strip, with no signs of progress from renewed talks on sustaining a ceasefire deal between Israel and Palestinian militant group Hamas. In the latest bloodshed to underline the fragility of the Gaza war's three-stage truce, medics said the men were killed near Bureij camp in the center of the devastated Palestinian enclave by a missile fired from a drone. In Rafah, southern Gaza, medics said 3 people were wounded in another airstrike. Rafah residents have reported frequent fire by Israeli forces near the border with Egypt inside the city boundaries. The Israeli military said in a statement it carried out attacks in central Gaza and Rafah against terrorists operating near their forces and attempting to plant bombs. Director of the Hamas-run Gaza government media office, Ismail al-Thawabta, said the 3 men killed were from the same family and were collecting firewood for cooking during an Israeli ban on food products entering Gaza. Now talking sports, Britain's Jack Draper claimed the biggest title of his career with an assured win over Denmark's Holger Rune in the Indian Wells final. Draper, 23 years old, was dominant from the start as he brushed aside world number 13 Rune 6-2, 6-2. Lifting his first trophy at the ATP Masters event, the tier between the 4 Grand Slam tournaments capped a landmark weekend for the British number 1. After beating Spain's Carlos Alcaraz in Saturday's semi-finals, 14th-ranked Draper was already guaranteed to climb into the world's top 10 for the first time. The straight-set victory means the 21-year-old English left-hander will move up to 7th in the ATP rankings. Before we go, here again are the highlights. The coalition of united political parties has raised its voice against the purported move to arrest Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Elsewhere, Belgium and Rwanda have announced the expulsion of each other's diplomats as relations deteriorated over allegations about their respective roles in the conflict in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. In the Americas, U.S. President Donald Trump spoke to the press on board Air Force One, offering insights into the administration's views on various current issues. That was the world news on Radio Afinju. To view our channel, please follow Radio Afinju on Facebook, X, and YouTube. The news was edited by Stella Adirati. My name is Pearl Durotoye. Thanks for listening. Good evening.